Good morning, everybody. Taryn Reeves here from Four Eagles Publishing and the Publishing House Concierge, and I'm joined today by the wonderful Julie Lewin, who is an author inside of Phoenix Rising, a multi-author book project that we have currently going inside of Four Eagles Publishing at the moment. Welcome, Julie. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Taryn. Oh, delighted to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you. Now, Julie helps spiritual entrepreneurs overcome growth edge resistance and self-sabotage so that they can take their soul work to the world. And her unique clearing technique shifts the energy of resistance fast, acting as a circuit breaker for that downward spiral that we can all often feel when we're running our own business. The combination of clearing and activation light codes, Akira vibration, and 432 hertz music provides an eye-opening meditation experience that's like no other. That sounds really interesting, Julie. Please tell me more about that.
Well, it started actually because I had a client in New York who didn't like the old way that I was doing clearing work. And she said, she was a psychotherapist, and she said, I don't want that. She bought a package of 5 sessions with me. She was really angry, and I thought, well, this isn't my anger. And so I thought, I'll try something different. And she agreed to that. She said, just don't make me do visualization. She said, I don't want to do that. And I said, okay. So I wrote down on a piece of paper all the things that I thought she needed cleared. And I just went and did that with a different method. And she went from being like 10 out of 10 to 0 out of 10 in about 20 minutes. And I thought, so I found a new way. And so she ended up working with me for a year. She must have had over 20 sessions. She had a lot going on. And so she just book in a session and she'd be up here, and I'd just calm her whole system down. And then last year with the situation in the world, we were working, I started doing that method with some of my group clients, and they loved it. And I thought, oh, I'm onto something here, because I like to test and measure things that are new, and our clients really loved it. And so then we went into a phase of doing deep soul coaching with our clients, where they knew that they had this big vision of what they wanted to do, but all this stuff right from birth was just coming up, and they go, so every week we had our call, and they go, no, it was a bit like that. And I thought, oh my goodness, every time we clear an objection, another one rises to the surface. So what we've discovered is that as you do your clearing work, as you do your self-development, as you do your soul inner work, you feel like you've done it. And then within 2 to 4 weeks, another one bubbles to the surface. And so it's about clearing those objections that rise up through, things that happened as a child, things that happened as a teenager, things that happened in your early, your 20 to 30s. It seems to just, what we have to do is unwind what has been created, and then we can move forward. So the clients that we're working with one-on-one right now, they're at the point now where all the objections are gone. Like, they're stepping into their light, they're bringing their work to the world, which is very exciting. So the next stage that we went to was, not everyone, there's just us, and you will know this as a coach yourself. You can't work one-on-one with everyone. So then we've developed a way where we can create recordings of these clearings and the Oracle deck, and then people can use those resources. And what we're finding is that people are getting results as well. And so it's a progress to develop a new body of work. And we've been doing that 2.5 years now. And we've just got it to the point where it can be available to the public without having to work one-on-one with us. That's a long answer to your question.
That's all right. I always love a detailed answer. I always say to people, I'm like, no, when I ask how you are, I actually want to know. Like, I'm not into the superficial conversations. So I love it. Thank you for sharing. Now, you describe yourself as a medical intuitive. Can you explain to the people listening who may not know what that is, what it is?
Yeah. Well, so that journey started, and that journey is in my chapter as well, how that all happened. So it started 37 years ago. I was told that I could see inside of people's bodies. Now, that medical intuition wasn't a thing back then. So I had to, I won't take away from the story because it is in the story, but I discovered how to see inside of people's bodies and travel through and identify where they needed to get some medical help, where they needed to do some healing work themselves. And over the years, because I was on the TV show The Extraordinary back in 1994 and 1996, those shows sold to 22 countries around the world. So the episodes said that I can see inside of your body, I can pinpoint where you need to get some help. And so people were desperate and they wanted me to help them. So I had tens of thousands of letters coming from all over the world. My phone rang day and night, and we were listed in the white pages, so they found me. And, you know, when you work with tens of thousands of people, you develop a system of identifying, well, this batch of symptoms all seem to point to here. And so I developed my language of identifying symptoms that equal this. It was probably 10 years before I thought, I can't just tell people what I'm seeing. I need to actually help them. So I was guided to put my hands on their body, but at the same time I was seeing a movie rolling in my head. So what I did was, with my hands on the body, I watched the movie and people would say things like, "What are you doing?" And I'd say, "Oh, can you feel that?" So I didn't have a teacher. I just had research and development based on people who came to me and worked with me. And then over time I thought, that movie that I saw when I worked with that patient, maybe I could do that movie when I work with this patient, and the same results happened. So that's how our Akira came into life. It was all these templates that I developed, and then I discovered that when I taught people how to do it themselves, they got the same results. So it was very much like my whole adult life. I was 25 when I started. I'm 62 soon. So it's been a long journey of discovering, and in all of that, I needed to develop healing templates as well for myself. So medical intuition is basically intuition around your health and well-being. I think that's a short answer. I've developed my own system and I teach that. So everyone gets information in different ways, and it's then what you do with that information. And I receive information through a movie that I see.
But in your mind's eye.
Sorry?
So you can see it in your mind's eye, is that correct? Like it's like a dream, a waking dream in your head that's vivid.
That's it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's exactly how you would describe it.
Okay.
And so then I found some research that said that we have a phantom body, and it's a Dr. Gariev in 1984, the year my daughter was born and the year that I started this work, that we have a phantom body. So we've all heard people who've lost limbs or body parts, and they say they still feel the pain. They call that phantom pain. So what Dr. Gariev discovered was that we have a holographic body that's an exact blueprint of our physical body. And so over the years, I work with that holographic body. I do the healing there and then send it back into the physical body. And so that's how miracles, it's like a miracle happens. But there's a system to it.
Of course.
Where you go into the holographic body, do the healing, and what you've done in the holographic body actually happens in the physical body as well. And so, for example, this is one that a lot of your listeners might relate to. If you get indigestion or heartburn or your stomach's not feeling quite right, put your hand on that area that's not feeling quite right and just ask that the contents of your stomach or your esophagus equals the pH of alkalized water. In a minute, and I mean in 60 seconds, that pain in 80 to 90% of cases will go away. That discomfort will go.
Just by asking.
By asking an intention.
Wow. So
if you put your hand, put your hand on the spot that you need to heal. So it's almost like that's a signal to your physical body that your holographic body, this is the part of the body that you're wanting to heal.
Yeah. And when they ask, you know, I would like this to equal the pH of alkalized water, who are they asking?
Well, that's a good question, Taryn. I believe that you're asking your holographic body. So your blueprint, your energetic body, your energy body. And that's why I say Akira is energy medicine.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. That's absolutely amazing. I'm definitely going to try that, and I'm sure everyone listening is as well.
It's a great one.
Yeah, I would love to experience it one day. So you are writing your story inside of Phoenix Rising, a chapter of your life. Did you want to give us a little teaser? Is it your journey towards finding this energy medicine?
It is actually about that. And I have to say, Taryn, it was very confronting to write this chapter. Because I don't think that I've ever had such clarity on the journey of discovering how I see inside of people's body and what I physically went through and emotionally went through. So it's quite a journey, but, you know, through all of that, and when people read the chapter, they'll go, oh, my God, how is she even still here? And it grew my resilience. It grew my determination. And that's what Phoenix Rising is all about, is how do you find that grit in your gut when you feel like you've reached the edge of the cliff and you don't know where to go next.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in finding the writing quite confronting, did you also find that confrontation and the journey through that towards completing your chapter kind of healing as well, in a way?
100%. And I actually wrote those words in my chapter.
Yeah.
That the healing did happen. Yeah.
And how do you feel now? Because I know today is submission day for everybody's chapter for Phoenix Rising. Now that you are kind of on the tail end of it, how are you feeling now about life or your business or who you are as compared to when you first started writing, when I first made the invitation to you to come and write with us?
That's another really great question, Taryn, because I have absolute clarity today about our business. I have, the night that I finished the chapter, I slept really well, and I woke up the next morning and I felt really amazing. So I knew that something had shifted. So writing the chapter about my Phoenix Rising or about my life and overcoming some adversity was an incredible journey that I know I resisted. And we're all about resistance and overcoming resistance. And so it's almost like I got to a point where I thought, okay, I have to do it now. So all my objections were gone, and then I could settle and write the chapter. And I just want to say I'm incredibly grateful for the opportunity to share my chapter and write it in a way that is not from victim mindset. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. This was about empowerment.
Yeah, it was incredibly empowering, and as a result of writing that and being clear about where I've come on my journey and where I want to go. Like, I've got another 30 years, and this is me as a 61-year-old saying I'm working for another 30 years and or more.
Yes.
I'm excited. Like I what I was able to do, and this is something that your other authors might find as well, is I started this journey here as a young woman and a young mum, and I've come all this way in 37 years. What's possible for the next 30 years, 40 years?
It's amazing.
I've only lived half my life as an adult. So I've got another half to go, and I'm really excited about what we can do.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's so wonderful, and we're incredibly grateful to have you as a part of our community inside of the Authors Inner Circle. So thank you so much for saying yes to the opportunity. Now, apart from everything that's already happened, and I mean, we haven't even gone to editing yet, and you've received some gifts from the process. What else are you hoping to result as a part of being of this project?
So I'll share one part of my story that happened. In 2000, I had thyroid cancer, and I lost my voice for a year. And I said, okay, God, source, universe, whatever you want to say, if you give me back my voice, I will share what I've learned on this journey. And I got my voice back. I learned how to speak again. And so being a part of this book is me honoring that commitment and sharing my message with the world, because it's a global book. It's a book that is going to touch the lives of many people, and I'm honoring my commitment to sharing that journey, which I think is really important. Honor your commitments.
Yeah, absolutely. That's amazing. I'm so excited to read your story. Well, Phoenix Rising is coming out in September. We're heading to editing this week, which is super exciting. I can't wait for all those chapters to start coming to physical form. together in community and collaboration. But if any of you are listening and are interested in participating in our next multi-author book project, it's called Corporate Dropouts: From Employee to Entrepreneur, Meet the Entrepreneurs Who Took the Leap and Soared. So the title is fairly self-explanatory. If you used to work in corporate, decided that that kind of a life wasn't for you and you wanted to follow your passions or create a life or lifestyle on your terms, and you have branched out and started your own business, then please reach out via private messenger or comment on this video and I'll get in touch, because you just might find that you're an excellent fit for this next project. So thank you so much for your time today, Julie. It's been an absolute pleasure. And we will speak again. Thank you.
I look forward to it. Thanks, Taryn.
Bye.
Bye.